Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about something that makes the difference between a speech people remember and a speech people forget before it is even finished. How to start your speech in English. Because here is the truth that most people do not want to hear. Your audience decides in the first 30 seconds whether they are going to listen to you or not. 30 seconds. That is all you have to earn their attention. And if you open with something weak, something boring, something they have heard 1,000 times before, you lose them. And getting them back after that is incredibly difficult. Most people start their speeches the same way. Good morning, everyone. My name is, and today I am going to talk about. That opening is not wrong. But it is invisible. Creates no energy, no curiosity, no reason for the audience to lean in and pay attention. It is the equivalent of knocking on someone's door and saying, "Hello, I am here." Yes, we can see that. So what? Today we are going to change that completely. We are going to look at the most powerful ways to open a speech in English, the exact language you need, real examples across different situations, and the one thing you must never do in your opening. By the end of this lesson, you will know exactly how to walk into any room, open your mouth, and make every single person want to hear what comes next. Let us get into it. Part 1. Why your opening is everything. Before we look at specific techniques, let us understand why the opening of a speech carries so much weight. When you stand up to speak, your audience arrives with a full mind. They have their own thoughts, their own worries, their own distractions. Their phone is in their pocket. Their lunch is on their mind. The email they did not answer is somewhere in the back of their head. Your job in the first 30 seconds is to pull all of that away and replace it with one thing. You. A powerful opening does 3 things simultaneously. It grabs attention, it builds credibility, and it creates anticipation. The audience thinks, this person is interesting. This person knows what they are talking about. And I want to know where this is going. When you achieve all 3 of those things in your opening, you have the most valuable thing a speaker can have. A room that is truly with you. Part 2. The 6 most powerful ways to open a speech. Let us go through the 6 opening techniques that work best in English and look at exactly how to use each one. The first technique is to open with a powerful question. Questions activate the brain immediately. The moment you ask a question, even a rhetorical one that you do not actually expect the audience to answer out loud, every person in the room starts thinking. And thinking means they are engaged. Here are examples of strong opening questions. Have you ever stood in front of a room full of people and felt completely invisible even though everyone was looking at you? When was the last time you said something and truly felt that the other person understood you? What would you do differently if you knew that the way you communicate was the single biggest factor in your success? How many opportunities have you missed in your life simply because you did not know how to say the right thing at the right moment? Each of those questions does something specific. It connects directly to an experience or fear that the audience has. It makes them feel that you understand them before you have even introduced yourself. That is incredibly powerful. The second technique is to open with a surprising or unexpected statement. Say something that the audience does not expect. Something that challenges what they think they know. Something that makes them think, wait, what did they just say? Here are examples. The biggest problem with most communication is not what people say. It is what they think they said. Most people spend years learning English and then freeze completely the moment a real conversation starts. Grammar is not the problem. Fear is. The most important word in the English language for a leader is not please or thank you. It is yet. Research shows that people decide whether to trust a speaker within the first 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Before you have said almost anything at all. These statements create instant curiosity. The audience wants to know more. They want to know where you are going with this. And that desire to know more is exactly what you need at the start of a speech. The third technique is to open with a short, powerful story. Human beings are wired for stories. The moment you say, "Let me tell you about something that happened," every brain in the room shifts into listening mode. Stories create emotional connection faster than any other form of communication. The key for an opening story is that it must be short, no more than 60 to 90 seconds, it must be relevant to your main message, and it must have a moment of tension or surprise that hooks the listener. Here is an example of a short opening story. 3 years ago, I was sitting in a meeting with 12 people. My manager asked me a direct question in front of everyone. A question I knew the answer to. I had been thinking about this exact topic for weeks, but when I opened my mouth, nothing came out. I sat there in silence for what felt like an eternity while 12 people waited. I knew the answer. I just could not find the English to say it. That moment changed everything for me, because I decided that day that I was never going to let language be the barrier between what I knew and what I could express. And that is exactly what today is about. That story is personal, relatable, specific, and it connects directly to the topic. Every person in the audience who has ever felt that way, and most of them have, is now completely with you. The fourth technique is to open with a powerful quote. A well-chosen quote from someone respected and relevant to your topic can immediately establish credibility and set the tone for everything that follows. The key is to choose a quote that is genuinely relevant, not just impressive sounding, and to follow it immediately with your own thought that connects it to your message. Here are examples. George Bernard Shaw once said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And when I heard that for the first time, I realized it described almost every difficult situation I had ever been in. Nelson Mandela said that if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Today we are going to talk about getting to the heart. Always make the quote yours. Do not just say it and move on. Connect it. React to it. Make it the beginning of your conversation with the audience. The fifth technique is to open with a striking fact or statistic. Numbers can be incredibly powerful when they reveal something surprising about the world. They signal that you have done your research and they give the audience something concrete to hold on to. Here are examples. Studies suggest that the average person spends about 70% of their waking hours communicating in some form. Speaking, listening, reading, writing. And yet most of us have never received a single hour of formal training in how to do it well. It takes less than 1/10 of a second for someone to form a first impression of you. Less than 1/10 of a second. Before you have said a word, before you have smiled, before you have done anything at all. Follow your fact with a direct connection to why it matters to your audience today. The sixth technique is to open with a moment of silence followed by a simple and direct statement. This is the most advanced technique, and when done correctly, it is perhaps the most powerful of all. You walk to the front. You look at the audience. You say nothing for 3 to 5 seconds. And then you speak. That silence does something remarkable. Creates anticipation. It signals confidence. It says, I am not in a hurry and I am not nervous. I am here and I am ready. And then when you speak, every word lands with more weight because the silence gave it space. After the silence, you open with something simple and direct. What I am about to share with you today took me 10 years to learn. I am going to give it to you in the next 20 minutes. I have one goal for the next 30 minutes. By the time I finish, I want you to see this topic completely differently than you do right now. There is one idea I want to leave you with today. Everything I say will connect back to it. Part 3. What you must never do in your opening. Now let us talk about the things that kill a speech opening immediately. Never open with an apology. Do not say, I am sorry, I am a little nervous, or I hope you can hear me okay, or I am not really a public speaker. Apologies destroy credibility before you have even begun. The audience came to listen to someone confident and prepared. Start as that person even if you do not feel it yet. Never open with a long thank you list. Thanking everyone in the room one by one is a fast way to lose the audience before your speech has started. If you need to acknowledge someone, do it briefly and after your opening hook, not before. Never open with your title slide or your agenda. Starting with, so today we are going to cover 3 things. First, second, third is not an opening. It is a contents page. Save the structure for after you have earned the audience's attention. Never open with a joke unless you are absolutely certain it will land. A failed joke at the start of a speech creates an atmosphere of awkwardness that is very hard to recover from. If humor is not natural for you in English, do not force it. Part 4. Putting it all together. A full example. Let us now hear a complete speech opening that uses these techniques together. Imagine you are giving a presentation to your colleagues about improving communication in the workplace. You walk to the front. You pause for 3 seconds and look at the room. Then you say, "Let me ask you something." Think about the last time a misunderstanding at work cost you time, energy, or a relationship. Maybe an email that was read completely differently from how you meant it. Maybe a conversation that left both people more confused than before. Maybe a meeting where everyone left with a different idea of what was decided. Most of us have had that experience more times than we would like to admit. And here is what I find fascinating about it. The problem was almost never a lack of information. Everyone in those situations knew what they were talking about. The problem was communication. How ideas were expressed, how they were received, and how much was lost in between. My name is, and for the next 20 minutes I want to share something that I believe has the potential to change the way this team works together. Not in theory, in practice, starting this week. That opening uses a question, a relatable scenario, a surprising reframe, and ends with a promise that creates anticipation. The audience is completely ready to listen. Final part, a message for you. Your opening is your handshake with the audience. It is the moment you say, "I am worth listening to." And the good news is that unlike natural charisma or an impressive title, a powerful opening is completely learnable. It is a craft. And like every craft, it gets better every time you practice it. Here is your challenge for today. Take any topic you care about, anything at all, and write 3 different openings for a short speech on that topic. Use a question for the first one. Use a short story for the second one. Use a surprising statement for the third one. Say all 3 out loud and notice which one feels most natural for you. That is the style that will become your signature opening. Your first words matter. Make them count. Thank you so much for watching. If this lesson helped you, please share it and subscribe so you never miss a new lesson. Leave a comment below and tell me, which opening technique are you going to try first? I read every single comment and I love seeing you apply these lessons in real life. See you in the next lesson.